welcome to Rock, Paper, Swords, the historical action and adventure podcast. My name is Matthew Harvey.
And my name is Stephen A. Mackay.
We're both best-selling historical fiction authors, and together we chat about all things historical and anything that could fall under the banner of action and adventure in books, film, TV, and games.
Oh, and we also talk about rock music from time to time.
When we recently interviewed Bernard Cornwell, we asked him about reading reviews of his books, and his answer stuck with me. He said he didn't read reviews because the good ones go to your head and the bad ones go to your heart, which I thought was a nice way of putting it. Now, I know that neither of us are as disciplined as Bernard, and we read the reviews of our books. In fact, we probably read all of them. Of course, the good ones are great and nice to read, whilst the bad ones can be quite painful. But if they're constructive, they can still be useful, and all readers, of course, are welcome to their opinion.
So I was having a look for some reviews on Amazon, and I came across this cracker, which I think you'll probably quite enjoy. Do not put on the... I was too dying to read that out straight face so you would start laughing. Do not put on not...
Come on, then.
Do not put on... Oh, you. Do not put on knob and bottom. I nearly got it.
Oh, God. Oh, so is that a review of one of your books? Oh, it's too much.
So that was a real Amazon review at one point about
what? Do not put on knob and bollocks.
Yeah, that was a headline with a funny emoji, and it was about hair removal cream that this unfortunate individual had put on his penis, and with unfortunate results, which I won't get into. But it just shows you that Amazon reviews can be hilarious and often hurtful. Although I've never had one quite as painful as that guy's experience. So moving on.
So there are strange reviews out there, because I think that one you're talking about the hair removal cream, there was a lot of, it was hilarious. It was very funny, but there's a lot of controversy, or not a lot of controversy. There was questions whether it was real or just totally made up for comedic effect. And sometimes I think some of the reviews that we get, you do wonder whether
have they even read the book?
Have they read them, or what's going on there? So the first ones that I've got one here to read, and I've sort of tried to categorize some of the reviews that we're going to talk about into little groups. And the first one is when you get a review that clearly isn't the star rating that it says it is. So this is a 1-star review, so 1 out of 5 for Wolf of Wessex. Headline: a very good yarn. You think, well, that's weird. And then the actual review is: I enjoyed the atmosphere, the evocation of the landscape and the drama. It is well written and very much a page turner. 1 star.
A well-deserved 1 star.
A well-deserved 1 star. So those are nice. Those are the best 1 stars to have, actually, because they make it.
Yeah, that's true.
You got a 1 star. Somebody looks at it and goes, "Oh, that's a mistake."
Mm-hmm.
Have you got any like that?
You don't feel the pain of
you feel the pain of, you see the 1 star and you think, "Oh no," and then you read it and go, "Oh, that's actually not
so bad." Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got one in particular for The Northern Throne, where the reviewer says, "I've just finished reading The Northern Throne, and I would just like to say what a very good read it was. Macro and Cato, look out. Stephen Mackay gets better and better, and I'm really looking forward to the next instalment of Bellicus and Juro's adventures." And he's left it 1 star. So, a damn good read. 1 out of 5 stars, a damn good read.
It's probably the same guy who left the review of mine, a good yarn.
I think it used to be hard to actually put on a star rating through your Kindle. I had a few people years ago used to say that to me, that they've really struggled to get the star rating to go to 5 stars for some reason. I don't know why.
You pressed it and it would sort of automatically jump back.
Glitch back. Yeah, so I assume that something like that's happened there. Because they're obviously not idiots. They're clever. They enjoyed our books, so they've obviously got a brain on them.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, don't want to. Any of these people that are listening, and their reviews are out there on Amazon, so they can be read by all. We're not naming them, but obviously they're all real reviews, and they're all totally valid. So if you didn't like the book and you say you didn't like the book, that's perfectly fine.
It's up to you.
It's painful.
You're wrong.
It's
You're
painful.
wrong, but...
It's painful to us as the authors, but you're absolutely within your rights to do so. But some of them are quite strange. So we've got one for I don't know how to categorize this one, but it seems like the real thing that they don't like about this is the fact that I showed feelings in the characters, that the characters had some sort of emotions. So I don't know. I don't really know how many people go around the world with no emotions at all. And I think books probably would be a bit strange if they had no emotions to the
science fiction, maybe about robots.
Maybe,
but even the good science fiction about robots, they've got emotions. That's what makes it good.
That's true. So this is a 1-star review of A Time for Swords. It's quite a recent one, actually. I noticed this just when we were researching this. It says, very disappointed with this book. I've read Wolf of Wessex by Matthew Harvey, and it was good. Of course, being the writer, I'm just going to, this is an aside here. Being the writer I am, I checked. They've not left a review of Wolf of Wessex. Of course. This is always the way. When anyone mentions that they hate your book and they say, I loved your other books, they've never left a review for those other books. This is always the way. It is a law. There should be a law, in fact, like Murphy's Law or something. That should be
the law of robotics. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, the law of robotics.
I can confirm this is true.
This is true. So it's we need to come up with a name for it, but that is a law.
The law of reviewers.
The law of reviewers. It's one of the laws. It's the first law of reviewers. Yeah. Then they continue with their reasoning. This book is full of feelings that just kept coming up when the action starts, time after time. Boring. Was it ghost written by a woman? Well, I think he meant woman, but that's fine. 7 Japanese plus 7 Americans plus 7 Iron Age men equals boring. Huh? I think he went a bit mad with the 7s at the end because it's loosely inspired by 7 Samurai, 7, the Magnificent 7, the story, that is. But anyway, he didn't like feelings. That made it boring.
I can kind of see his point, though, because when I'm facing down a crazed berserker who's about to smash my head in with a sword, I don't really have any feelings. You know, I just get bored, really, more than anything. I'm just standing there, like, bored.
Yeah. So normally, you don't have any sort of reaction to
no, there's no kind of visceral reaction. It's just boredom, really, to the prospect of imminent doom. But so maybe that's how he feels.
Maybe. We're saying he, it could be a she, of course, but I doubt it because was it written by a woman? It sounds unlikely.
Yeah, so I've got Wolf said 1 out of 5 stars again. This is a verified purchase. Did not read it. Robin Hood by any other name. Bad way to sell books, to pay for something by changing the titles. Well, it actually says in the blurb that it's Robin Hood, so...
How dare you release a book about Robin Hood and have an arrow on the front
and Robin Hood
and in the description talking about Robin in the forest, and how dare
you? And then he never noticed that it was going to be about this.
Yeah,
that's so. But the annoying thing is, 1 star, did not read it.
So it's interesting that he did not read it, but he knows it's about Robin Hood. So what happened? He read the first sort of chapter and went like, it's about Robin Hood. I don't want to read Robin Hood. I hate Robin Hood.
I hate Robin Hood. How did I not know this was Robin Hood?
Why did I buy a book with a guy with a bow on the front and looked
so
like
weird.
Robin Hood? Looks suspiciously like Robin Hood. Yeah.
But those kind of reviews are really annoying. Did not read it, but they'll leave you a 1-star review anyway. They might enjoy it if they would just read it.
I've got there's plenty of those around. I've had one of my very, very first reviews actually was really negative 1-star review. This is for the Serpent Sword years ago, and I haven't got it I haven't pulled it out because it's so scathing. But it was all really, really scathing. But it said, I only read the first 20%, but I stopped reading at that point because of all these things. And I think, oh, God, thanks a lot.
Well, thanks very much.
If you're not going to read the book and you
Well,
hate
just
it that
don't
much,
review it.
just don't review it. I mean,
it's not really fair, is it?
I agree. So, oh right, here. So this is I've titled this one. This is my the schizophrenic type reviewer. A little bit like when they say it's great and then give you a 1 star, but slightly different. So this is for A Time for Swords again, and this is a 1-star review. It says too wordy is their description of it, but then it says the plot. So okay, see what you think about this. Does this sound like a 1-star review? The plot had a good setup, but then took so long to move the plot along to what were the obvious ending scenes. Too much verbiage, too much descriptive prose, and far too much repetition. The style, however, was fine. So what's the style if it's not the right? I don't. If it's
not the verbiage, the descriptive prose, and repetition.
So it's really, really terribly written, but the style is good. And then he finishes off with, "I will not be reading sequels." Okay, well, thanks very much. I don't understand. I don't understand the style, however, was fine. I'm just confused.
It's crazy how some people think about these. What about the conspiracy theorist? This was for my novelette, Over the Wall, which is basically just about some Irish guys climbing up Dumbarton Castle, breaking in, and a fight breaking out. So this guy has written 2 out of 5 stars. Modern England or a historical novella? Well, it's in Scotland to start with, and it's a novelette. But according to this guy, it's smacked of woke theology and the worst sides of this current mayhem. It's chilling to see a novel of 14 centuries ago carrying the baggage of lawlessness in today's world.
What? I don't understand. I actually literally don't understand what he's talking about.
That's possibly the strangest review I've ever had and the most confusing. I don't understand it in any way.
I mean, I understand all of the words,
but
none of the meaning.
But there's no woke theology in it. It's just some guys climbing up a wall. I've not even included like token women warriors. I'm
imagining that his theology is the wrong use of the word, and that he doesn't know what theology is. So he's thinking that that's something to do with the enlightened / woke outlook of things. But I don't understand what he means, what he's talking about there. I just don't understand. I don't know how carrying the baggage of lawlessness
in today's world. No. Bizarre.
So if today's lawless, then it's not. I don't understand. None of it makes any sense. But I think it's safe to say, if he read the book, he didn't like it.
Well, I thought it was not that bad. 2 out of 5 stars.
It could be worse. I guess he received the thing. So here's one that's just mean. I mean, that one was quite mean, but weird. This one's just mean, and again. People can say what they want, and that's fine. But very disappointed. This is for The Serpent Sword. 1 star. Badly written piece of nonsense. I even ended up looking up info on the author, as I suspected it had been written by a child. Alas, it does not have that excuse. Didn't finish reading it, as life is too short, and I won't be getting anything else by this author. There you go. So that seems a little bit harsh.
Well, I mean, I wondered this. How does he know you're not a child? Is it the beard?
It's the beard. The fact that I'm 51, and I have 2 children now who are adults. Maybe that's. But yeah, it's a bit strange though. Badly written piece of nonsense. Thanks a lot. But then again, of course, he comes up with the didn't finish it. So anyway.
But it is odd. It's more like a personal attack.
Yeah. Hey, good luck to him. So you got any mean ones?
Yeah, you thought that one was mean. How about this one? This is for Night of the Cross, which we're just doing an episode mentioning. 2 out of 5 stars this time again, and it's quite a succinct review. It just says, "Rubbish, really."
Well, you can't argue with that. You can't really. I mean,
But
it's
no, it's well put,
rubbish, really.
simply stated.
It's
Just like
good.
the review and this is Spinal Tap. It was a 2-word
Yeah.
review and it just
Shit
said shit
sandwich.
sandwich.
Yeah,
And
that's for the album Shark Sandwich, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I've got rubbish really. He even alliterates.
You can't print that.
Wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with being sexy.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
Smell
actually,
the glove.
makes me wonder if you wrote this actually because he's got the alliteration there.
It actually is me. I will start writing reviews for all your books
With alliteration.
with alliterative, but it's not me because it's not the title. So I would have given the title of the review would have been rubbish, really, and then I would have gone on with a very long verbiage description, which would have been quite lengthy and so long and confusing that it would have put you to sleep and you wouldn't have finished the book or the review, of course.
I like it.
So when we're talking, sort of grouping things together or sort of looking at different types of review, what about the school teacher reviewer? So this is the kind of the reviewer who is trying to make a point and explain that they know something that you don't or something. This one, it's an old review from the Serpent Sword from a long time ago. But it sounds to me like this is an English teacher or a teacher anyway who's sort of giving you. It feels like I've handed an essay in, and these are the comments rather than a review. Shows some promise at the start, but characters are never developed enough for the reader to feel engaged. It's like, oh, that's fair enough. A couple of times I thought that finally we were going to get one, only for him to be killed off on the next page. And then finally finishing with this line, which I like. Author's natural history is a little weak too, with no qualification of that. So
yeah,
I don't know what that means. Thanks a lot. So basically, yeah, your natural history is rubbish. What? I've got the wrong tree or something.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know
That's all I can think of. Or a animal that shouldn't have been there or something.
But they don't say what it is.
Yeah, exactly. You're never going to find out, so you can't fix it for future books.
Yeah, there you go. What's this one? This is one I've got here. Another one for the Serpent Sword. This is a confused reviewer that seems to blame the author for everything, and seemingly doesn't even buy the book as well, which is weird. 1 star, of course. £20 for a paperback used version. I don't think so. This book came up a few times on my Facebook page, so thought I'd buy a copy for when I go on my holiday. I don't want a Kindle version. I'm happy to buy a new or second hand, but £15 new or £5 second hand max. Okay, thanks. So apparently they've not bought it or read it. They don't want to buy it second hand because it's too expensive. I don't know why they don't just buy the paperback. I don't know. I just, again, very confusing. What exactly is the problem here?
Well, the problem is you priced it too high.
Yeah,
even though your publisher says so.
Yeah, well, this is probably back when it was self-published. I don't know, but anyway, it's just bizarre. It's just a bizarre thing.
Even back then, you wouldn't have set it at £15.
No, but it wasn't.
£20.
It wasn't 15. Well, no, but it's not that now. The paperback's not that expensive.
Well, exactly. So that's what I mean. So
none of it makes any sense. It's just none of it makes any sense. No, because he says it's £20 for a used version. Right. So somebody on eBay or something is flogging a second-hand version for 20 quid, and that's somehow my fault.
That's all he's seen.
It's like, great.
I've got one for Wolf's Head, 1 out of 5 stars. This Robin Hood tale does not hit the mark. Very flimsy plot, lack of depth to character description and plot mechanics, no hooks to make the reader want to read on. Disappointing. Amazed that this is a series of books. If the first book of the series is anything to go by, stopped reading after 20 pages.
Wow. They got some staying power.
Well, they know an awful lot about a book and a whole series after 20 pages in a book that lasts for 320 or something in the Kindle version, I'm sure it is. So,
yeah, it didn't hit the mark.
There's no need.
There's no need
for it.
I've got a 2 out of 5 star. Most of mine have been one star reviews. I've got a 2-star review here for King of Cain, which again, my novella, which we were talking about in the other episode we recorded. 2 out of 5 stars. 100 pages of novel. It's a novella for $6.99 is very poor value for money. Well, so that's the heading. So this is the paperback edition. So obviously there's a minimum cost for the paperback, and obviously this
Well,
is
you can't
what it was.
change. Paper costs money.
So anyway, and that's it. So here's the review that said, I'm a big fan of the Benicia tales. Oh, great, that's good. Of course, we know the first rule of reviewers, which is obviously the case for this person too. And this was a good one, hence the 2 stars. But with no mention of the brevity of this one in the description, I felt badly let down. Sorry. So just to clarify as well, the title of the book on Kindle or on Amazon, is Kin of Cain, a thrilling historical adventure set in the world of the Benicia Chronicles, and then in brackets, a short Benicia tale.
He's not read far enough to the end of that sentence.
Maybe that's true. Anyway, I like the way that he apologizes at the end. Sorry.
I like how he says this was a good one.
I know.
Only gave it 2 stars. I've got a couple for Wolf's Head. 2 out of 5 stars for this one. 11th century action, 21st century English. Pretty weird.
Yeah.
Well, what does he want me to write in 11th century English? Would he understand it? Nobody would.
Forsooth.
That's probably not even. That's probably Shakespeare era.
Yeah. One at April with his shores so to the drocht of March of Percy to the Rota.
Exactly.
That's
that sounds more
century.
Spanish.
That's 14th century. That's from Chaucer. That's 1350s or something. So that's even later. So yeah, I don't know what your 11th century would.
No, what's he wanting? Exactly.
Anyway, it's not set in the 11th century, is it, Wolf said?
No, it's the 14th.
So it's actually, so it is Chaucer. It's Chaucerian. There you go. So
the next one's really good, though. It's 5 out of 5 stars for Wolf's Head. Good read. Great post-apocalyptic read. Loved the story.
So wait a minute. Post-apocalyptic read? So is this guy reading in the future after the apocalypse?
Ah, right. So he's a time traveler.
And he's a time traveler. Because obviously the book's not set in a post-apocalyptic world. So he must have read this in a post-apocalyptic time.
I never thought of that aspect. So he's like John Titor, if anybody.
And he's come back in time to leave you a 5-star review. And now it's been mentioned in the podcast. Maybe this podcast is all that survives into the future.
Like Terminator 2.
We've created a paradox.
Parallel universe where Wolf's Head is somehow
it becomes like
controls
the Bible.
The world.
It becomes like that's Zardoz. Is that the great Sean Connery movie Zardoz when he's in when he's in like red Y fronts and he's got pistols and stuff. That's and cowboy boots.
He's got a big moustache and stuff.
Yeah. That's sort of a future post-apocalyptic thing, and they think they've got this book that is Zardoz, and it's like the god of Zardoz or something. I vaguely remember it, but it's a copy of the Wizard of Oz. And Zard and Oz is on the cover, but the rest of it's been destroyed in the fire or something, or destroyed in the apocalypse. And so they've got this book or something. Anyway, it's very bizarre.
So instead of Wolf's Head, it'll all be faded away. It'll just say Shed.
Shed. With the magical arrow on the front. So that's it for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. This was just a little bonus episode because our interview last week with Carol had to be shorter because of the audio issues we had. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please let us know if you have any questions or things you'd like us to cover in future episodes. You can contact us on the Facebook page, facebook.com/rockpaperswordspodcast. We're on Twitter at rock_swords. You can find out all about our books on matthewharvey.com and stephenamackay.com. And we're also both on Twitter and Facebook. So look us up, drop by and say hello. The theme music is written and performed and copyrighted by Stephen A. Mackay and me. And until next time on Rock, Paper, Swords, it's goodbye from me, Matthew Harvey.
And it's goodbye from me, Stephen A. Mackay.
And remember, whatever action and adventure you have going on in your life, be kind, stay safe, and
happy reading.